Elsie Jensen here. Today we're going to make Swedish pancakes. Yeah, that's a doggy. Are you ready to help me, bud? Yeah. So we're Swedish pancakes. They're kind of thin like crepes, but they're a little bit sweeter, and you serve them with jelly or plain sugar. So first we're gonna start out and we are going to crack our eggs and put them into our bowl. So I have 3 eggs. Yay! Ready? Help me break them apart. Good job. 1. Oh, and there's our dog's knife. And 2. Bruni, Loki. And 3. We got 3 eggs in our bowl. And we're gonna put them right here. You're gonna wipe your hand. Good job. Hey, Bruni. Our dogs love to bark at everybody who walks by on the street. And it's a snow day, so there's lots of people out there running. And then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of half and half. So you can use milk, but we prefer to have it a little bit richer. It makes just the dough a little bit better. So I'm gonna put 1.5 cups of half and half in here. But you can use whole milk, anything works. I'm gonna pour that into our egg mixture. So I have our 3 eggs. And then I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of half and half. And before I add any more ingredients, I'm going to take my whisk. I have my hand mixer on with the whisk attachment, and I'm gonna mix this up just a little bit. Yeah, you wanna help me hold it? I'm gonna mix up our eggs, just until they're mixed together with the milk. That way when you mix the flour in, it will mix in evenly. But we don't need to do very much, just a little bit mixed. You can see how it's turned yellow now, a little pale yellow. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thank you, Teddy. I'm gonna put it right there because we'll use that in a little bit. Now I'm going to add in my melted butter. This is 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Since these pancakes are so thin, this will help it from sticking to the pan. So we put in our melted butter.
And clarify, they're Swedish pancakes.
They're
not
Swedish,
regular.
yes. These are not American pancakes. These are Swedish pancakes.
For those that just joined.
Yes, so Swedish pancakes are almost like a crepe, but a little bit thicker than that. And then I'm gonna add, this is my secret ingredient, I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla. Yes, just a splash, not very much. There we go. And it's probably like a ½ teaspoon. And I'm gonna mix this up real quick. Just like that. We'll mix it in, the butter, the eggs, the milk, and the vanilla. Just to get a good stir. Easy peasy. And then I'm going to take, you're gonna help me, a pinch of salt. You got your pinch of salt in there? And I'm gonna do a little pinch, just a little bit. In there, I use salted butter. I use salted butter in most of my cooking. So I have a pinch of salt in there, and now I'm going to add the sugar. With the sugar, you don't need very much. Oh, there. Yeah, you don't need much sugar in here because you're going to be sprinkling on sugar at the end. So I have about 1/3 cup of sugar, just a little bit. I'm going to pour that in there. Thank you, buddy. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. And then I'm going to add in only 1 cup of flour. So let's scoop it up, bud. So this is going to make a very runny and thin batter. It's a little bit thicker than if you've ever made crepe batter before, but it's a lot thinner than American pancake batter. And then I'm going to have my 1 cup of flour. And now that I have all of my ingredients in there, I'm going to mix it up until everything is mixed up and combined. You don't want to have any clumps in your batter. So we'll just mix it up. You can mix by hand with a whisk, or you could use the beater attachments. I'm just using the whisk attachments because it makes it work a little bit better. There we go. Yeah. Want to put it a little higher? Good job. Get these all mixed up. Make sure I'm hitting the sides of my bowl so that I can get anything that's stuck on there. And you'll see it will get a little bubbly in there. Perfect. Let's do this. You'll probably end up blending for about 30 seconds to a minute. But you kind of just want to make sure you get all the big chunks. I think we are done with it.
Mom.
So this is what, this is what our batter looks like. It's very soupy, as you can see, but that's what we want. Now I'm going to turn on my skillet. You could use a regular pan if you wanted to. And I'm going to turn that one on. I'm going to start it out at a higher temperature to warm it up, and then I'll turn it down so I don't end up burning my pancakes. And then of course I'm going to put just a little bit of butter on here just to help with sticking. I'm already using a non-stick pan. Yeah, I recommend using a non-stick pan, otherwise you have to have a very well seasoned pan. Non-stick pans are great, especially for Swedish pancakes or really any type of pancakes or a griddle, because it makes it easier to flip. My trick with these Swedish pancakes is I don't make them super hard because they are super large, because they're a very thin and delicate pancake. The bigger you make them, the harder it is to flip. And always say start out smaller and then till you get to the size that you like. So I'm gonna spread my butter all the way out as my pan warms up, just so I have an even coat everywhere. And again, I have my setting on my oven, or my stove goes up to 10, which is high, and I have it on about an 8 right now, just until my pan warms up, because you want to have an even, consistent cooking pan, and if you leave it on high, you will burn your pancakes as the more you cook with it. So this is just to get it warmed up in the beginning. There we go. So I have my skillet ready, a little bit of butter still on there, and I'm going to do a little scoop. Again, this is gonna run, so just be careful. Don't take a big scoop and pour it out, because if you do, it will run everywhere and it will be very hard to flip. So I've got my batter in here, and this is a half a cup, but I've only filled it up with a fourth of, about halfway, but I don't even know if I'll use all of that on here. And then I'm just going to pour it slowly, kind of out in a, like you're going around clockwise in the middle, just like that. You see how it's going to spread out? You got a cup there?
A cup.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let it cook just like this on there. The first pancakes will take a lot longer than the second and the third, because once your griddle or your pan gets to a consistent temperature, it's going to cook really fast. While this is sitting on here cooking, I'm going to get a plate out, because, gotta get one out of the dishwasher, because this is where I'm going to be putting them on, and between, I'll cook each side, and then I'll put them on a pan, and then I'm going to sprinkle them with a little bit more sugar on there. So most of the sweetness comes through the sugar you add after the fact. So what I'm going to do right now is just clean up some of this area so I have a little bit more space. So I'm gonna throw my eggs away. Make sure you always put your eggshells in the trash can instead of down your garbage disposal. That's like an old wives' tale that, it will help sharpen the blades and clean it out. No, the yolk on the eggs or the runny stuff is really sticky. It's like cement, and it will clog up your pipes. We've had that happen before, and our plumber said, absolutely not. Never put eggshells down your drain unless you want clogged pipes. So I always make sure to throw them away. I know, look at it. Now, if you look closely at it, you can see it's starting to bubble around the edges. It's starting to puff up. It's kind of like it's breathing. It's got like a heartbeat. So I'll flip it up. It's not quite ready yet to flip. Oh, it's almost ready. Look at this. But do you see how it actually, see, this is what a good non-stick pan does. You see how it's just flipping around? So I'm going to get my thing under it and then really quickly flip it over just like this. And now I'm going to start turning down my heat a little bit. So this, perfect. And it only takes about 10 seconds on the other side to flip. You need a hug. Yeah. This is Chef Teddy over here. He loves to help me cook. Is he excited?
Yeah.
My kids also love to eat this batter. It's a very delicate but sweet and nice batter to eat. Okay, this one is perfect. You can see how it's poofing up here. That means it's ready. It's got like an air pocket underneath. So I'm just gonna slide it under. And I know it poofed up. I'm gonna put it right there. You see it's got a nice little thing. I'm gonna turn down again. So now I'm at about a 4 on my temperature. And I'm going to put my next one on. so it can cook while I then do this. So I'm spread it out nicely like this, and it's gonna cook slowly. And now I'm gonna take sugar. I use regular granite sugar. Some people use powdered sugar, but this is what I grew up on. This is what my mom always used. My mom is from Sweden, so these were always a treat for us. And you just sprinkle a little bit of sugar just like that over the top. Yes. Big helper.
Yeah, big helper.
And then we'll look at this. It's nice. You can see the little bits of butter. When you mix it in, it's starting to melt in there. These are, they're definitely a rich breakfast, and they're, you know, I wouldn't be eating Swedish pancakes every day, but they are delicious and they are a special treat. And then I'll show you what we can do with them at the end. After we flip a couple of them. In Sweden, it's tradition to serve them with lingonberry jam, which is not very common here in the US. Lingonberry is very tart, so it's kind of similar to like a cranberry, but I prefer them with like a strawberry, but you could use them with any spread. And what you do is you simply will spread it on and then roll it up. Let's look at this. Let's see if it has a good roll.
Someone just joined. They said, can you tell me what's in the batter?
The batter, yes. So the batter, I used 1.5 cups of half and half, 3 eggs, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, a splash of vanilla, a little pinch or 2 of salt, and a cup of flour, and a third of a cup of sugar. And then you mix them all up. And you saying hi? Hi. Evie, one of my goods, just came in from playing outside in the snow. She's ready for a hot breakfast. And then you just mix them up with a whisk or a beater, and then you'll have a nice soupy batter just like this. So this one is perfect. You see how it's got just a little bit of golden brown on it? Which, yep, it's perfect. So I'm gonna flip this over here.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. I'm gonna get another scoop just like this, and I'm gonna pour it out. Right now, this is a half a cup, but I'm not filling it up all the way. You'll wanna do a smaller size pancake because until you're really skilled at it, the big ones can be a lot harder to flip. Even though I've been cooking Swedish pancakes for over a decade, I still can't do the really big ones without messing up. So I have put my second pancake on here, and now I have my granulated sugar, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little over the top just like that. This is what the favorite part. My kids typically, a lot of times they'll eat it just plain with no jam on it, but I do like to roll mine up with jam sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that yummy?
Yeah.
But they cook very, very fast on the griddle. That's why I started my pan up high, and once it got hot, I'm making Swedish pancakes. Once it gets hot, then you want to turn your pan down, because if I left it at high, they would burn really quickly, and burnt pancakes are never good.
Like it.
You stealing some sugar over there, my little sugar thief. Oh, let's see. I'm going to see if it's not quite. It's almost, there we go. It's starting to get a little big. That's a good way to test to see if yours is good enough to flip. If you flip it early, it will splatter everywhere. There we go. See, it has a nice little golden texture on it. Because I have a non-stick pan, I don't re-butter between pancakes, but if you were using just like a regular metal pan that didn't have a non-stick surface, you'd probably need to add a little butter between it to prevent sticking. I will say throughout my years of cooking, non-stick pans, I would invest in a good set of them because they really do make a difference, especially if you're cooking in the beginning. They make cleanup easier. They prevent you from burning your food. They're just the best. Especially if you're not good at seasoning a pan or being patient to wait until it gets to the right temperature. So that one's done. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. Now I'm at about a 3 with my temperature wise. I'm gonna spoon it out. Perfect. And then I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of sugar right over here. This batch will probably, I made 3. This batch will probably make 15 Swedish pancakes, maybe a little bit more, or less depending on how big I make them, which will be, my kids eat between around 2 to 3 a piece, depending on how big they are. But as again, I have 5 children, so we feed an army in our house. Yeah, are you stealing sugar? Are you two?
Not from me.
Are you both are stealing sugar? And they're my little sugar thieves. For some reason, they just love straight up sugar. Okay, I think this one, not yet. Do you see how I'm shaking my pan and it's not moving? That means it's not ready to flip. So once you get, so you know how we added 4 tablespoons of butter to this? That makes it to where it gets a nice slide when you cook it. So if you're not getting the slide when you're turning it, it means it's not ready to flip. Let's see. Oh, there, now it's my slide. Okay, this one's a bigger one.
Whoa.
I know, just easy. So beginners, you can, these are bigger, but if they're harder, do them smaller because then you can get your full spatula underneath it and flip it. This one you got to do the flipping motion fast. So you got to go under, lift, and flip pretty fast. If the smaller it is, the easier it will be to flip. So if you're just starting out, or this is the first time you've made pancakes or crepes or anything like this, smaller. Yeah, you'll thank me later because it is much harder to do a big one, and it typically ends up with half of it flips here, it flips under. So be safe rather than sorry. And this one, it cooks really fast. You see how it's already ready on this side? So I'm gonna flip this one over here. I'm gonna scoop out my batter again, and I'm gonna do another swirl it around, just like that. And then while this one's cooking, you're just gonna sprinkle it with sugar. A little goes a long way. A lot of times my kids will help me sprinkle the sugar on, which means they get 10 times as much sugar as they need. Because you guys are sugar addicts. Did you have fun sledding, Evie? Did you go to the park?
And I went some sledding over there.
You went some sledding over there behind? It's a perfect day, or a perfect meal to have on a snowy day. We live just outside of Nashville. Yeah.
The sugar looks like snow.
No, it does look like snow. So we had Snowmageddon yesterday where it snowed. I want to say we got a little, maybe 5 inches.
5?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've already had some melt, but it was nice, good building snow, which we rarely get here in the South. I'm from Iowa, and so in Iowa, we used to get mountains and mountains of snow. Lots of snow.
What's the slide called?
Oh, I got our toboggan that we used growing up. We got 2 toboggans over from my parents' house.
One super big and one like...
That's right, one is super big. So I just flipped this over, had a good slide on it. It'll probably take about 10 to 15 seconds to cook on this side. But the first side, again, always takes longer. The second slide takes a lot less time. See how it's already almost, I just kind of wait until it has just a little bit of golden brown on it. That's right, golden brown. Okay, thank you, Chef Teddy.
Chef Teddy.
Okay, a little bit longer on that one. Is that good? You want to help me let Evie and put the lids on my flour and my sugar? Okay, this one looks like it's ready. Again, I'm very comfortable with the griddle, so I use my fingers a lot. I don't actually touch the griddle when I'm doing it, but be very careful in the beginning if you're new to cooking because it is hot and it will burn you. So while this one's cooking over there, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar. So while this one's cooking, I'm going to get a second plate, and I'm going to show you how we spread it with jam in there, especially if you like it. Is that yummy? You will not. Yay! Oh, can you help me? Okay, buddy. Yeah, jam. You like jam? Here, let me give you a little bit. You can try. Strawberry jam. So you do not use, it's a little bit different. We do not use syrup with Swedish pancakes. It would just taste weird. They're very different from American style. So you just take some jam, just like this, and you spread it all over. And then what you're going to do is, I'll get a little bit more, is you're just gonna roll it up, kind of like a burrito. And then, so you've got that, and you can cut it, and you see how they make little pinwheels? Just like that. And this is one way you do it. They did, in Sweden, they'll do it with lingonberry jam. I'm not, most people don't like it because it's a very tart jam. So We'll do it with strawberry. One of my daughters loves grape jam, so she'll do it with grape jam. But they're also just delicious by themselves, and they reheat very well.
Yeah.
So you can pop these in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds, and they'll be warmed up, and they'll be good the next day. A lot of times we make a huge batch, that way we can eat them for a couple of days. Yeah, is that good? So let's flip it over. We've got that one there.
I'm tired.
You're tired. Are you hungry? Are you ready?
Yeah.
There we go. We got that one out. And sprinkle this with the sugar. Sugar, just like that. But I'm going to try a little bite, see how they taste. This is with strawberry jam.
Mommy, bite.
You want a bite, bud?
I want to bite.
Are they delicious? But you can see they're thicker than a crepe, but they're not. But they're much thinner than a traditional American pancake. They have a very mellow and light flavor, so they kind of pick up any flavor that you want to use them with. So whatever jam, if you want to use orange marmalade, grape, strawberry, or just plain sugar, they're good. Some people use powdered sugar.
Butter!
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this one's ready to flip. It's got a good slide. There we go. Is it so good, Yummy? Yeah. Again. Oh, look, Bruno. Everyone's out sledding and playing today, so we've got some little barkers, don't we? But the ingredients, in case you joined late, was a cup of flour, 1.5 cups of half and half, 3 eggs, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, a splash of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And a 1/3 cup of sugar that you mix in. And then you just mix that all together. I mixed my liquid ingredients together first, and then I added my flour and my sugar towards the end. That way it just mixes nicer together. And it will be kind of a soupy mixture. And then I have it on my skillet, or my thing. And then you just have a little bit of extra sugar that you sprinkle on the top. If you want to add a little bit more flavor, you can wrap it with jam and then cut it up to pieces. So I use strawberry jam. In Sweden, it's traditional to use lingonberry, which is a tart jam similar to like a cranberry compote. Yeah, it's right there. Does that look so yummy? Do you want some more of it? Yeah, I can bring this plate over here, and you can finish these up if you want while I cook the rest. Typically, they're also good. They're great. Typically, my kids will just come and grab them off of plates while I'm making them. So my stack never gets high. It disappears faster than I can cook it. I'm going to see if that... Oh, look, I've got a nice slide. When I shake it, that means it's ready to flip. If it's not sliding, don't flip it because it will splatter everywhere. And you see how it different from American pancakes, they stay pretty pale. They don't get super brown, and that's what you want because you want them to be more malleable. And they're not going to get any thicker or fluffier than this. But I think they taste better than crepes. Crepes, I think, are a little too crunchy. But these are definitely a hit in my house. We grew up with them. My mom's actually from Sweden, and so she taught us how, she made these for us growing up. So for the longest time, I didn't realize there was a difference between American and Swedish pancakes because I always had these. So the first time I had an American pancake when I was at a friend's house, I was like, what's wrong with your pancakes? They were so big and fluffy. And I had never eaten them with syrup before, so it was definitely a strange experience. For us, but these are definitely a good treat. This is perfect. You see how it's got a little golden brown, so I'm going to put it over here just like that. And before I sprinkle the sugar, I'm going to do another scoop on here. Yes, is that, yeah, you like it? It's so good. And then I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of sugar over the top of this. A little goes a long way. Yeah. Teddy Bear over here, he's eating them with strawberry jam. Is it good? Yeah. You done? You are done with it. But here you go. You want to see? Again, in case you joined us later?
No, this one's for the for the cameraman.
Yeah, the cameraman wanted one. Yeah, they're irresistible. They're very different. They'll eat them straight up. But they cook really well. My pan right now, I'm cooking them. In case you don't, I started out with a high heat, and then once Yep, you got a drink. Did you drink it all? We'll get you some more in just a second. But then I lowered it down to about a 4. So mine goes through 0 to 10. 10 is high. So I'm cooking them at a 4. Yes. You want more white chocolate milk? Okay, I'll get you some more. But you don't want to cook them too high or they'll burn and then they'll be goopy on the inside. But if you could cook them lower, but then you'll be standing in front of the stove for hours. So look, I've got a good slide. And then I'll flip it. You need a paper towel because you were sneaking some sugar. Let me get a paper towel for you while those cook. And I have, I think, 1 or 2 more left. The first side takes longer to cook than the second one. I would say the first side takes about a minute to cook. And the second side, half the time, like 30 seconds. So I can flip those over. I'm going to scoop. I think I have enough batter to make 1 more after this. Also, again, start smaller until you have mastered the flip because it can be very difficult, and smaller is easier. It will take you a little bit longer because you'll have to make more. My mother, who's really good at making these, she can make ones that are like the full pan, but she's been doing it forever and she's the master. She even has these special, like, they're designed just for Swedish pancakes, but they're little sticks that help you flip them. Good old flat, thin spatula. You don't want to have a thick one because you want to be able to slide it right under. So a nice, thin, flat spatula works great. Let's see. Not yet. You see how I'm shaking it and it's not going anywhere? That means it's not ready yet. But it doesn't take long to cook. And they are fan favorite in this house, especially if you want to change it up from something. Uses about the same ingredients as American pancakes, except it doesn't have any rising agents like baking soda or baking powder. It's just the eggs that help puff it up. And then my secret, I add a splash of vanilla. Traditional recipe doesn't have vanilla, but I think it adds a nice flavor profile to it. Okay, looks like, so you see it got a good slide. So it looks like this one's ready to flip. And I think I have enough batter for 1 more pancake. These pancakes, I think I've made 10 or 15 of them, will be gone before the end of the day. They, every one of them, my 1-year-old loves them, my 14-year-old loves them. They're just simple, delicious treat. This one's already done, so it doesn't take long on each side. And I'm gonna put my last pancake on here, just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of the granulated sugar over it. For those of you guys who have joined in later, some you can serve them with granulated sugar. Some people use powdered sugar, or you can do so good. You can do them with jam. So I'll take this one off and show you guys again how to do them with jam. My husband and I love them with jam, but my kids prefer them just straight up with sugar. So you just take a good thing and you spread it all the way around, like as if you were spreading jam on toast, and you want to kind of get it everywhere. Just spread it all over. So you have it. You could also do it with fresh, like cut up fresh fruit too, if you mashed it. You want to be a little bit healthier. And then you're just gonna take one side and you're gonna roll it like a burrito, just like this. And then you can cut it up. You can eat it whole, like a little hot dog, or you can cut it up into perfect little bite-sized pieces, just like this. Kind of looks like one of those jelly roll-up cakes. But easy. Easy lemon squeezy. It's my last one. Let's see, I got a good slide. So we'll flip it over. And oh, you see when I stack them, on here I stack them on top of each one, and the sugar kind of dissolves into the pancake, giving it the sweetness because there's very little sugar in the batter. And you don't eat them with syrup. I did have, when my sister got married growing up, she made these for her new family, and they didn't understand them, and they tried to eat them with maple syrup. It was hilarious to watch. They were like, these are the weirdest pancakes ever. Easy. It's traditional. So in Sweden, these are called platta. Platza is the word for the Swedish pancakes. And you actually eat them with Swedish meatballs for dinner. It's like served with split pea soup, Swedish meatballs, and then you have this as the part of the meal. We just always ate them for breakfast. Okay, this is our last one. I'm turning off the burner. I'll add it here. I'm gonna sprinkle the last bit of my sugar on it. And we have made a big batch of Swedish pancakes. Thank you. If you like, subscribe.